Right, same as usual, working at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you need to stop and stretch, stop and stretch. If you can keep it going for as long as you can. Usual props, the ball, or a pillow, and then a band or a strap, a belt, anything that we can use to assist, especially for the legs. So setting up your neutral to begin with. If you're sitting up, trying to sit tall, so it's trying to ease the pressure from the abdomen, so making sure that I'm not slouching and compressing the abdomen, and in turns compressing the diaphragm, so preventing it from being able to move and create that nice relaxed breath. So see if I can create a little bit more space there, encouraging the breath to drop down into the belly, so feeling the belly expanding as I inhale and just relaxing as I exhale. So keeping the front of the throat, the neck, the chest, the soft and relaxed. If you're laying down, using the mat to help realign the spine, to help you relax through. And then running a quick scan over the body, so noticing the pressure onto the seat bones. If I'm seated, is the pressure even? Am I leaning on one side more than the other? If I'm lying down on the back, is the pressure the same between the right and the left shoulder, between the right and the left hip? I'm not changing anything, just noticing where everything is and how I feel to begin with. Is there any pain anywhere? Is there any tension anywhere within the body? And then as you feel the breath feels a little bit more relaxed and the body feels that little bit calmer, I'm going to focus on the shoulder girdle. I'm going to start rolling the shoulders back. So think of nice easy circles going round and round with the shoulders. There will be all sorts of scrunching and clicking noises. As far as there is no pain with the clicking, I'm going to keep the movement going nice and big. If there is pain, I'm going to reduce the size of the movement, but still encourage some. So see if I can get some movement going. Feeling the shoulder blades kind of like running around at the back of the rib cage, just trying to ease some of the tension, some of the stiffness from the upper back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Returning the shoulders back to the middle, and then this time just focusing on up and down. So I'm going to shrug the shoulders up to the head, elevate them, and then I'm going to press them down and away, depress them. I'm going to elevate and depress. So just picture the shoulder blades sliding up towards the head and then down towards the middle of the back, up towards the head and then down towards the middle of the back. And then as you keep the sliding going, same as usual, especially if you're seated, notice the difference that it makes if I pull the shoulder ever so slightly forward and press it down. The majority of the tension I can feel is on the front of the chest. If I push the shoulder back too far, the majority of the tension will be on the back of the shoulder. See if you can try and find that midway point where you feel that the front and the back are working in sync, they're working together. So one is not prevailing compared to the other. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing the shoulders back to the middle, and then from elevation, depression, we're going to go into protraction, retraction. So this time I'm going to pull the shoulders forward, and then I'm going to squeeze them together behind. Pull them forward, and then squeeze them together at the back. So this time, imagine the shoulder blades moving towards the outside of the rib cage as you protract, and then towards the center of the rib cage as you retract. So see if I can get that nice gliding across the back. Allowing the shoulders to stay down to make sure that the neck doesn't suddenly start feeling tight, it doesn't suddenly start feeling tense. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back and giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, and then retesting the shoulder roll that we did at the beginning. So I'm going to start rolling the shoulders back, noticing if there is any difference, if the movement feels maybe a little bit smoother, or if I feel that I can actually go maybe a little bit bigger, it feels a bit easier. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, relaxing into the shoulder girdle. See if we can start adding the shoulder joint. I'm going to raise the arms up in front. The longer the arm, the heavier it becomes. So especially if I'm seated, if my arms stick out to this much, they're quite heavy, the maximum load. If I bend them slightly, they become a little bit lighter. So if you feel that the neck starts getting stiff, then bring the arms in slightly. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to open the arms out to the side, turn them so that you can think of your thumbs touching the wall behind you. So if I'm seated, I'm going to try and put my thumbs on the wall. If I'm lying down, I'm going to try and turn my thumbs towards the floor. And then I'm just going to bring them back up again. So I'm going to turn and open and then come back. Turn and open and then come back. So think of a nice opening across the front of the chest and the arms encouraging that opening out and back. Keep an eye on the neck, or keep going back to the neck every so often, making sure that it doesn't feel as if the tension is moving up into the neck, into the head. So the neck still feels loose, it still feels long, the shoulders are still down, they're not suddenly shrugging up, lifting up to your head or to your ears. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the arms down by the side, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then I want to create a little bit more activation between the shoulder blades. So right into the middle of the back. So whether you're laying down or seated, I'm going to bring the arms up, the elbows up, level with the shoulders. The bend, the fingers are pointing straight forward, straight ahead. I'm going to keep the arms level with the shoulders, and then imagine to be pushing the elbows into the wall behind you. So if I'm seated, I'm going to try and squeeze my elbows back. See if I can feel the tension right into the middle of the back. So see if I can try and squeeze through the middle. Release, squeeze through the middle, release. If you're lying down, use the floor as the feedback. So I'm going to be in the same position, but as I push down into the floor, I should be able to feel the tension right into the middle of the back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. Giving gentle massage across the shoulders and mid back. I'm going to bring the arms back to the front, to clasp the hands together, and then I'm just going to gently start swinging around from one over to the other side. So if you're lying down, imagine to be rolling from shoulder to shoulder, massaging across the back, stretching around the back of the shoulder, the back of the ribcage. If I'm seated, think of a nice easy swing that allows the back of the shoulder, the middle of the back to stretch out, and then I'm going to swing and turn the other way. Think of a little pull. So as my arms are linked, my hands are linked together, With my left, I'm going to pull the right so that I can feel a little bit more stretch behind that right shoulder. With my right, I'm going to pull the left so I can feel a little bit more stretch behind that left shoulder. Just making sure that the movement is not forward and it's not totally hand. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to bring the right arm across the front of the body, and then with the left hand, I'm going to hold either below or above the elbow, not on the elbow as that will lock the elbow. I'm going to hug that right arm across the front of the chest, and then I'm just going to hold that stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back, switch side, left arm across. I'm going to hug it close to the chest to get that stretch around the back of that left shoulder. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, releasing the shoulders and the upper back. Just a little bit more movement into the shoulder joint and shoulder girdle. See if we can start getting into the back a little bit more. So we've done a little bit of a rotation. We're going to try and get into a little flexion. So grabbing hold of your ball or the pillow. I'm going to place the ball against the sternum, top of the chest. There, you can use the hands. The ball is just kind of like a little bit softer. And then I'm just going to start wrapping myself around into the ball. So I'm going to imagine your breastbone to be going inside of the rib cage, and then kind of like the body taking the shape of the ball. So I'm going to try and round, and then I'm just going to release. Round and release. As if I was trying to hide the ball, as if I was trying to hide the ball inside of the rib cage. And then I'm just going to let go. If you're lying down, because of the position, you might want to use one hand on the ball, one hand on the head. So as I come up and round myself into it, my neck is supported, so I'm not straining the neck. So whichever option works better. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back. We're giving the head a gentle roll, making sure that the neck doesn't feel stiff, pushing the ball to the side. And then from flexion, I'm going to go into extension. So allowing the arms to come down the side. Imagine to be pushing the chest forward. So I'm going to push the chest forward, and then I'm going to try and lift it up. So if I'm lying down on the back, I'm aiming for the back of the rib cage to lift as far away from the mat as possibly can, and then I'm just going to drop it back. If I'm seated, imagine a little hook onto the breastbone that is pulling you forward and is lifting you up. The shoulders are falling back to encourage the opening through the chest, and then I'm going to release back. So think of exactly the reverse. So if I could hold the ball behind the back, then what I would want to is for my upper back to take the shape of the ball, and then I'm just going to release it back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the upper back. Hopefully a little bit more movement at the top. I'm going to try and release a little bit in flexion, lateral flexion this time. So I'm going to allow the arms to relax down the side, and then I'm going to flex it to the right. Think of the right side of the body shortening. The left side, I'm going to try and lengthen it and lift it. So see if you can create space. So what I want to picture my ribs are pulling away from each other, so stretching the intercostal muscles. My rib cage trying to pull away from my hips and stretching the side of the waist. Then I'm going to ease my way back, and then I'm going to try and do the same thing to the other side. Ease my way back, and then do the same thing to the other side. If the shoulder allows me to, I might use the arm to encourage more stretch. So as I flex to the right, with the left arm, I'm going to reach up and over. Then easing back as I flex to the left. With the right arm, I'm going to reach up and over the other way. And then coming back. If you're down on the mat, you might want to support the head. So I'm going to flex it to the right. I'm going to take the head with me. And then with the left arm, I'm going to swing over, see if I can get the stretch all the way down that left side. Then coming back, switching the arm, support the head as I move to the left, and then stretching along the right side. Easing back, and then to the other side again. So little movement, big movement with the arm reaching over or without the arm. Especially seated. It doesn't matter if the arm is directly by the side of the head. It might be slightly forward to the head. It's just creating a little bit more traction down the side of the body. So encouraging more stretch down the rib cage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Allowing the shoulders and the upper body to reset in the middle. I'm going to go back into rotation one more time, see if I can go a little bit deeper now that the back hopefully feels a little bit looser. I'm going to cross the right leg over the left. So if I'm seated, I'm trying to cross that way, or I might just cross my feet. If I'm laying down, same. I might cross the leg, or I might just cross the feet. The right goes over the left. Then with the right hand, I'm going to reach underneath the left shoulder, so underneath the left armpit. With the left hand, I'm going to reach over the top of the right shoulder. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a hug, see if I can create more space at the back. And then from here, I'm going to turn my head to look over the right shoulder. And then I'm going to turn my body to the left. I'm going to maintain that position. I'm going to take 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. 3 through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Stay there. Now I'm going to try and breathe in stages. Imagine to be kind of like drawing air in gradually. I'm going to draw it in 3 times. Each time I'm going to try and draw more inside of the rib cage, inside the lungs. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. 1. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to breathe in again. Hold it. I'm going to breathe in again. I'm going to try and turn a little bit more. And then exhale out. Try again. So deep breath in. More. Turn. and breathing out. One more time, deep breath. Breathe more, turn, and breathing out. Hold that turn. Pick a spot on the wall to the side and then focus on that spot. 3 breaths, nice and easy breath. 1, 2, 3, and then easing back to the middle. Keep the hug, keep the legs crossed. I'm going to turn the head to look over the left shoulder this time. And then I'm going to turn the body to the right. I'm going to hold it there. 3 breaths through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the nose. 1, 2, 3. And then breathing in stages. Breathe, big breath. 1. Hold. Breathe more. Hold. Breathe more. And then exhale. Turning a little bit deeper. Let's try again. Big breath. 1. More. Turn. And breathing out. One more time. Big breath in. 1, 2, 3. Turn. And breathing out. Hold in the turn. 3 breaths. So just nice, relax the breath. Focus on something on that left side of the room. 1, 2, 3. And then easing back to the middle. Releasing the hug, releasing the legs. I'm going to cross the legs the other way. So left leg across the right. So just crossing the feet, crossing the legs if I can. With the left hand, I'm going to go under the right armpit. With the right arm, I'm going to go over the right shoulder. So giving myself the same hug, but switching the arms around. I'm going to turn the head to look over the right shoulder again. And then I'm going to turn the body to the left. So head to the right, body to the left. Holding that twist. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Stay there. Give you the staged breath. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. Hold it. Breathe more. Hold. Breathe more. Turn. And exhale out. Try again. Deep breath. Breathe more. Turn. And breathing out. One more time. Deep breath in. More. Turn. And breathing out. Pick the spot on the right side of the room and then focus on that spot. The 3 breaths. Just nice, relax the breath. 1, 2, 3. And then easing back to the middle. Turning the head to look over the left shoulder, the body to the right. Hold it there. 3 breaths through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the nose. 1, 2, 3. And then big breath in. Hold it. Breathe more. Hold. Breathe more. Turn. And exhale out. Trying again. Deep breath. More. More. Turn. And exhale. One more time. Deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Turn. And exhale. Hold it there. Keep the spot on the left side of the room. 3 breaths, nice and relaxed. 1, 2, 3. And releasing back. Releasing the shoulders, relaxing the back. Hopefully the back feels a little bit looser. I'm going to focus on the legs. So starting off with a little lift. So same as usual, if I feel that I need a little support, if I'm seated, I can use the hands. If I'm seated or laying down, I can use the band around the leg to help me guide the leg where I want it to go, guide it into that little lift. So setting up the position and then focus on the right leg. So I want the right leg to lift up and then to ease back. I'm going to lift it and then lower it. It might lift big, it might be barely pull away from the ground, it doesn't matter. It's the same as usual. See if you can be aware, even with the band guiding the leg. See if you can be aware, not of the arms are pulling on the band, but the front of the hip closing as I lift it, and then opening back out as I release it back down. So closing as I lift it, and then opening as I release it back down. So see if I can gradually find a better connection to the hip flexors. See if I can feel them tensing, feel them twitching a little bit to create that lift, to create that pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the hip and releasing the leg. We're going to try the same thing to the other side. So switching the strap, if you're using the strap around that left leg, and then I'm just going to see if I can try and get the same awareness. So feel the front of the hip closing as I lift, opening back as I lower, closing, and then opening back. And see if I can focus deep into the hip joint to see if I can find a better connection into the hip flexors. So however small or big the lift might be, just being aware of the hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing, relaxing the leg, relaxing the hips, and then from knee lift we're going to go into a little knee drop. So if you're lying down, the hips are keeping nice and still. The right leg is going to start opening to the right, making sure that the left butt cheek stays on the floor. And then I'm going to squeeze it back. Then the left leg opens to the left. And then I'm going to bring it back. And then again on the right. If you're seated exactly the same, and then same as you did for the hip flexion, same as you did for the little knee lift. If I need to guide the leg, I'm just going to use the hand. So I'm going to use the hand to push the leg out. I might need to use the hand to bring the leg back. So this time, see if you can be aware with a little tension between the inside and the outside of the hip. So the outside of the hip is pulling the leg out, and then the inside of the hip is bringing it back to the middle. The outside is pulling it out, and then the inside is bringing it back in again. So picturing the top of the leg just gently moving into the hip socket, making sure that the movement is not causing, pinching is not causing pain, not in the groin, not into the side of the hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the legs. And then I'm going to focus a little bit more on the inside of the legs. So grabbing hold of your pillow or your ball and then place it between the knees. Shuffle the feet a little bit closer together. And then start squeezing into the ball as hard as you can. So imagine to be popping the ball. So I'm going to press as hard as I can. And then I'm going to ease the pressure. So by now doing the opening and closing earlier, I know that my right leg responds well, my left leg is not that great, so I'm going to pay attention to that side or vice versa. And then see if I can try and create a nice even squeeze at right and left side. So see if I can feel the same tension on both sides. If I feel that one leg is squeezing but the other one doesn't want to respond, same as before, I'm just going to guide it. And then I'm going to release, and then I'm going to guide it again. But same as before, don't focus on the arm pushing the leg or pulling the leg. Focus on that squeeze, focus on that tension through the inner thighs. If I can picture those muscles tightening to draw the legs together, and then gradually to let them go again. 5, 4, 3, 2. On the next one, I'm going to squeeze as hard as I can. I'm going to hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Squeeze a little bit harder. 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Relaxing the legs, giving the leg a little bit of a tap. Relaxing the inner thigh, relaxing the hip. And then I'm going to try and focus on the back of the leg this time. So bring the feet, if you're seated, bring the feet just a little bit closer to the chair. And then leaning forward slightly, I'm going to squeeze with the back of the bum as if I was trying to get my hips off that chair. And then I'm going to ease back, using the arms on the chair, using the arms on the legs, using the arms to create almost like a little swing. See if I can start putting weight into the legs. If you're lying down, same as usual, I'm going to keep feet and knees about hips width apart, and then pushing down through the soles of the feet, using the back of the hips, the back of the bum to drive the hips up, and then I'm just going to take them down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the legs, giving the legs a little walk, a little shake. If you're lying down, rolling over onto the side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting, finding a comfortable seated position, something that allows you to sit reasonably upright. So setting the legs wherever it's easier, leaning onto the wall, leaning onto the sofa, just making sure that it's nothing that's going to slide off and slide away. And then, same as we did at the beginning, see if you can think of a nice lift from the top. So I'm going to start bringing the chest forward. I'm going to roll the shoulders back. I'm going to drop them down. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to look up. I'm going to look back as far as I can. And then I'm going to release. I'm going to let the chin drop down to the chest. The shoulders come forward. I'm going to round forward into the back as far as the back will allow me to drop. And then curling back up again in reverse. Extending through, pushing the chest forward, flicking the shoulders back, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then releasing, coming forward, rounding and rolling your way down again as far as you can. Last time, coming up, lifting through as much space at the front as you can. Think you're pulling the breastbone right away from the pubic bone. Think you're pulling the throat away from the rib cage, looking up, looking back. And then releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a couple.